Welcome to another episode of Humans Are Whack. Thank you to everyone who's been watching, subscribing, and commenting. You're the reason we keep bringing you the wildest, most unbelievable human moments. Tonight, we dive into a night meant for celebration, fireworks, music, laughter, but for some, New Year's Eve turned into a night of horror. Meet Bruce Pardo, a 45-year-old man living a seemingly ordinary life in Los Angeles. But behind closed doors, frustrations had been building, the kind of pressure and anger most people never let consume them. On this New Year's Eve, those pressures erupted in the most violent, unimaginable way. Bruce had meticulously planned his attack, turning what should have been a joyous gathering into a deadly trap. Guests arrived, unsuspecting, ready to ring in the new year. Then, within seconds, chaos exploded. Fire ignited, panic surged through the house, and screams filled the air. Laughter and champagne were replaced by smoke, fear, and tragedy. By the time authorities arrived, the aftermath was terrifying. The once cheerful home was now a scene of destruction, a stark, painful reminder that human anger, if left unchecked, can explode in the most unimaginable ways. Bruce's story is shocking, horrifying, and a grim warning. Even on the happiest night of the year, human nature can turn celebrations into disasters. John Murray was 32, full of energy and ready to celebrate New Year's Eve in downtown New York. The streets were alive with fireworks exploding overhead, music vibrating through the air, and crowds of revelers cheering for the midnight countdown. Caught up in the excitement, John wanted the perfect selfie, standing near the riverbank with the sparkling fireworks reflecting behind him. The night was cold, the ground slick with frost and spilled champagne, but John didn't notice. In a split second, one misstep sent him tumbling. Friends screamed, hands reaching, but the icy water pulled him under faster than anyone could react. The celebration instantly turned into chaos. By the time emergency responders arrived, it was too late. John's story is a chilling reminder that even moments of joy and celebration can turn deadly in the blink of an eye. One careless move, one moment of misjudgment, and a night meant for happiness becomes a nightmare. If this story shocked you, hit that like button, share this video with someone you care about, and drop a comment telling me where you're watching from tonight. I love seeing how far our Humans Are Whack community reaches. Maria Alvarez was 28, celebrating New Year's Eve with her family in a high-rise apartment. The night was alive with laughter, champagne toasts, and fireworks lighting up the sky. Maria stepped out onto the balcony for a better view of the city's dazzling display. It was crowded with friends and neighbors, all leaning slightly over the railing to catch the perfect glimpse. In a split second, the railing, weakened and rusted, gave way. Maria fell several floors. The sounds of celebration instantly turned to screams and panic. Emergency crews arrived, but it was too late. What should have been a magical night of joy turned into a tragic nightmare. Her story is a stark reminder that even ordinary moments, stepping out for a view, joining friends on a balcony, can turn deadly in a split second. Another New Year's Eve story centers on Liam O'Connor, a 22-year-old university student who just wanted to end the year with a bang. Liam was celebrating with friends in a suburban neighborhood where fireworks were already lighting up the sky long before midnight. Music was loud, drinks were flowing, and like many people that night, Liam wanted something bigger, louder, more memorable. Someone brought out a large, illegal firework, the kind not meant to be handled by hand. Liam volunteered. He joked about it, laughed it off, held the firework steady while his friends filmed, counting down early as sparks hissed at the fuse. For a brief moment, everything felt exciting and harmless. Then the firework detonated too early. The explosion happened at ground level, with no time to react. The force knocked Liam backward, and the blast caused catastrophic injuries. The celebration stopped instantly. Fireworks still echoed in the distance as people screamed for help. Emergency responders arrived quickly, but the damage was severe. Liam was pronounced dead shortly after. What makes this story especially chilling is how common it is. Every New Year's Eve, people underestimate fireworks, treating them like toys instead of explosives. Liam didn't think he was doing anything dangerous. He was just trying to make the night unforgettable, and it was for all the wrong reasons. Another New Year's Eve story is about Thomas Reed, a 41-year-old father of two who chose to celebrate quietly at home. As midnight approached, Thomas stepped outside to watch fireworks from his neighborhood street. Like many people that night, he'd been drinking, not excessively, just enough to feel relaxed and festive. The cold air, the distant explosions, the cheers echoing through the streets, it felt peaceful. Then Thomas noticed something off. A downed power line had fallen across the road earlier in the evening, likely knocked loose by fireworks or heavy wind. It was sparking faintly, lighting up the wet pavement beneath it. Thinking he could help, and not fully understanding the danger, Thomas walked closer, intending to move it out of the way before someone got hurt. That was his last mistake. The ground beneath the wire was electrified. The moment Thomas stepped into the area, the current surged through him. He collapsed instantly. Neighbors heard the crackling sound before they realized what was happening. By the time emergency services arrived, it was already over. What makes Thomas's story so disturbing is that he wasn't being reckless or careless. He was trying to protect others. On a night meant for fresh starts, one unseen danger, electricity mixed with rain, alcohol, and darkness, ended a life in seconds. New Year's Eve doesn't always kill with chaos. Sometimes it kills quietly. Another New Year's Eve story involves Kevin Lawson, a 27-year-old who decided the best way to end the year was with one last drive. Kevin had been at a house party with friends. Music was loud, everyone was counting down early, and alcohol had been flowing for hours. Around 11:40 p.m., Kevin insisted he was fine to drive. It was a short trip, just a few minutes down the road. The streets were busy. Fireworks exploded overhead, distracting drivers. Pedestrians spilled into the roads, celebrating without paying attention to traffic. As midnight approached, Kevin accelerated through an intersection, trying to beat a red light just as fireworks erupted above him. He never saw the car crossing from the other side. The collision was violent. The sound of the crash cut through the cheers and countdowns. People rushed toward the wreckage as fireworks continued exploding in the sky. Bright flashes celebrating a new year, while twisted metal burned on the street below. Emergency crews arrived quickly, but Kevin was pronounced dead at the scene. What makes this story especially haunting is the timing. Just seconds before midnight, just moments before. If these stories are making you pause, take a second right now. Subscribe to Humans Are Whack, hit the like button, and tell me in the comments what country you're watching from. Your support keeps these stories coming. Another New Year's Eve story centers on Emily Carter, a 31-year-old who decided to celebrate the night from a rooftop party overlooking the city. The view was perfect. Fireworks exploded in every direction. Music echoed between buildings. People leaned against railings, phones raised, trying to capture the moment that would end one year and begin another. Emily had stepped back to get a wider shot for a video. She laughed, lifted her phone, and took one more step without looking behind her. She didn't realize she was near an unmarked edge. Witnesses say there was no scream, just sudden movement, gasps, and then silence as people rushed to the ledge. The party froze instantly. Music stopped. Phones dropped. The celebration turned into disbelief. Emergency responders arrived, but there was nothing they could do. What makes Emily's story so devastating is how normal it was. No recklessness, no chaos, just distraction, excitement, and Another New Year's Eve story involves Samuel Brooks, a 39-year-old who chose to celebrate the night alone at home. Samuel wasn't partying. He wasn't drinking heavily. He simply wanted to end the year quietly, watching fireworks through his living room window while heating leftovers on the stove. Outside, the sounds of celebration echoed through the neighborhood. Laughter, countdowns, distant explosions lighting up the sky. At some point, Samuel stepped into the kitchen as fireworks grew louder. A small grease fire had started on the stove, likely from unattended food. Thinking it was minor, he tried to handle it himself instead of calling for help. But panic changes judgment. He threw water on the fire. The flames exploded instantly, racing up the cabinets and across the ceiling. Smoke filled the apartment in seconds. Neighbors later said they heard coughing and banging, then nothing. By the time firefighters forced their way inside, the fire had already done its damage. Samuel was found unconscious. Another New Year's Eve story is about Daniel Foster, a 24-year-old who joined friends near a riverfront to watch fireworks reflect off the water. The spot was popular. Dozens of people gathered along the edge, drinks in hand, cheering as bursts of color lit up the sky and rippled across the dark surface of the river. It felt calm, beautiful, safe. Daniel stepped closer to the edge to get a better view. What he didn't realize was how slick the ground had become. Moisture from the cold air, spilled drinks, condensation freezing into a thin, invisible layer. As fireworks exploded overhead, someone bumped into him from behind. He slipped. Witnesses said he tried to grab the railing, but his hands slid right off. Daniel fell into the icy water below. At first, people thought he was joking, until they saw him struggling. Cold water steals strength fast. Within seconds, panic set in. His movement slowed. The current pulled him away from the shore as cheers from the fireworks drowned out cries for help. As the city welcomed a new year, tragedy struck in the most unexpected place. Mark Holloway was 36, celebrating New Year's Eve at a packed nightclub. The energy inside was electric. Flashing lights, pounding music, bodies pressed together, everyone counting down to midnight with drinks raised high. The club was overcrowded, far beyond capacity, but no one cared. New Year's Eve always feels like rules don't apply. As the countdown began, someone near the entrance slipped. A drink spilled. A sudden shove followed. Within seconds, panic spread through the crowd like fire. People began pushing toward the exits, all at once. The doors weren't wide enough. Music cut off. Screams replaced cheers. People tripped, fell, and disappeared beneath the weight of dozens of bodies piling forward. Mark was caught in the crush, pinned against a wall with no room to breathe. Witnesses later said he was still standing, still alive, when the pressure became unbearable. By the time security forced the doors open and emergency responders fought their way inside, the celebration had turned into silence. Mark never made it to midnight. What makes his story so terrifying is how fast it happened. No warning, no explosion, no collapse, just human panic and nowhere to go. New Year's Eve promises fresh beginnings. But sometimes, it ends lives before the clock ever strikes 12. As these stories show, danger doesn't wait for the clock to strike midnight. It hides in crowds, in celebrations, in moments we assume are safe. New Year's Eve is meant to mark fresh beginnings, but for some, it became the final chapter. These aren't just shocking stories. They're reminders to stay aware, look out for one another, and never underestimate how quickly a moment can change everything. Before you go, I want to hear from you. Where are you watching from? And what time is it right now? Drop it in the comments. I love seeing how far this community reaches. And don't forget to support the channel. Like this video. Share it with someone who enjoys real-life stories. Subscribe to Humans Are Whack. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss what's coming next. More intense, true stories are on the way. Stay safe and stay aware.